Good afternoon, delegates, candidates, members of the diplomatic corps. We see we have Venezuela present, we've got Cuba present, and we've got the People's Republic of China. Good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon session. Welcome to this afternoon session. This morning you elected your national executive. This afternoon we celebrate. We look forward and we look and meet the men and women who will carry this movement into the next general elections. But first, my friends, we are honored to welcome a distinguished Caribbean leader to address this Congress. Our keynote speaker this afternoon is a distinguished Caribbean leader, a barrister, a statesman, and someone who understands what it means to build something from the ground up. The Honorable Mark Brantley holds a Bachelor's of Law from the University of West Indies, a legal education certificate from the Norman Manley Law School, and a Bachelor of Civil Law from the University of Oxford. He was called to the bar in 1994 and has practiced before the High Court and Court of Appeal across the Caribbean. He entered politics in 2006 as a senator, became leader of the opposition the following year, and served as Deputy Premier for Nevis from 2013 to 2017. In 2015, he was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation in the Unity Government of St. Kitts and Nevis. In 2017, he led the Concerned Citizens Movement to victory and became the Premier of Nevis, a position he holds today after leading his party to further victories in 2020 and 2022. But Premier Brantley is more than a friend to Grenada. He is family. He is married to a daughter of the soil, making him an honorary Grenadian in the truest sense. This afternoon, he will address us on a theme that sparks directly into the movement we are in. The Caribbean must save itself. The Caribbean must save itself. Please welcome the Honorable Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Master of Ceremonies, please allow me to adopt the protocol that you've so ably established. Let me greet, of course, all who are here, my dear friend and brother, the Honorable Peter David, and the other delegates, and I'm told newly selected candidates who are on the stage. And of course, let me also greet the diplomats who are here from the People's Republic of China, Venezuela, and Cuba. I welcome all of you this afternoon. Let me start by saying that it is good to be home in Grenada. So, my wife of 32 years is from Lansipine, and I've been coming here since 1989 when I first met her. I fell in love with her and with Grenada nearly 4 decades ago. And while I do not yet have a Grenadian passport, I remain hopeful. Maybe Peter will give me one, I don't know. It is truly an honor to address the inaugural Congress of the Democratic People's Movement. And of course, I commend the party leader, my brother, the Honorable Peter David, and the entire team for taking this bold step in the service of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. As a rule, I must confess, I try to avoid the eternal politics in our sister states within the Caribbean region, and especially here in Grenada, where I know and count as friends people on all sides of the political spectrum. I, however, could not say no to my brother Peter, and to make it worse, he selected my dear friend Jasmine Redhead to contact me to seal the deal. Jasmine, you see, was the person who introduced me to my wife many, many years ago at the UE campus in Cave Hill. I therefore owe her a debt that I cannot repay. I suspect somehow that Peter has already shown his skill at political strategy by tasking Jasmine with the job of getting me to Grenada. I also want to thank Derek James, General Secretary, for the formal invitation that followed, and I express sincere gratitude to the leadership and membership of the Democratic People's Movement for the warm Spice Island hospitality extended to me thus far. Brothers and sisters, it must be clear to all of us that we live in an increasingly volatile and unpredictable world. Our region, long regarded as a zone of peace, saw in 2026 warships assembled in the southern Caribbean Sea and the invasion of and abduction of a sitting president in Venezuela. Barely weeks later, we have seen Iran attacked preemptively without regard to the United Nations or the rules of international law. Iran, for its part, has escalated the conflict significantly by striking important infrastructure in the Gulf states and by effectively closing that critical artery of trade, the Strait of Hormuz. The attendant consequences on the cost of fuel, the cost of shipping, the cost of insurance, and the overall cost of living will impact the open economies of Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean severely. The single mother in Grenville, the elderly man in River Road, and those who are already struggling to make ends meet will be hardest hit by the increases in the cost of living. When energy prices rise, everything else rises, from the cost of electricity to the cost of bus fare to the cost of a loaf of bread. Every household now in Grenada and across the Caribbean will be forced to cash a check it did not write. Yet another crisis is looming. As I prepared myself to come here this afternoon, I was looking at the news, and we saw the sad reports that the people of Cuba are again in darkness because they have had a nationwide shutdown of their electricity grid. That, in large measure, as we know, is due to the blockade that the United States has imposed on our sister Cuba. Now, I want to say here today that if that situation escalates, what is to become of the 11 million Cubans who call that island home? And if even a fraction of those 11 million Cubans were to take to the high seas to flee a situation which is intolerable in their own country, I suppose you here in Grenada will agree with me that that will lead to tremendous instability in the Caribbean region. Recently, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, speaking at the 2026 World Economic Forum in Davos, pronounced the death of the rules-based international order. Those sentiments have been echoed by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at the Munich Security Summit 2026. Chancellor Merz had said that the rules-based order, and I quote, no longer exists, and that Europe must recognize that new reality. If these sentiments are true, then it would mean that in just over 1 year, the policy prescriptions of the Trump administration have dismantled an international rules-based system that has guided multilateral engagements since the Second Great War. Prime Minister Carney has urged countries to acknowledge this reality and to build new cooperative frameworks among nations that can better protect their interests in a world of great power competition. In short, he's calling for a coalition of the willing. Canada and Germany are understanding that a new reality of global affairs is taking over, where power and military might, not rules, are to be the preferred currency of international engagement. I concede that some may argue that power has always been the currency of international engagement. Whilst that may be so, the established rules-based system acted as a check on the abuse of power. I believe it to be true that barring international rules, we return to the law of the jungle, where only the powerful survive and there are no protections for the weak and the vulnerable. The rules of international engagement are what have allowed small developing nations in the Caribbean and around the world to have a voice in shaping international norms. Those rules allowed us the opportunity, whether at the United Nations or elsewhere, to sound our voices and in so doing influence global change. I mentioned climate change as one such issue, where the Caribbean leveraged its membership in every multilateral organization to force that issue to the forefront of the world's consciousness. My question then is simple. What happens to the Caribbean if the rules are dismantled and multilateralism loses its place in the world? If Canada and Germany are describing themselves as middle powers in a new world of great power competition, then I ask the obvious question. What of the other category of nations in which the Caribbean finds itself? The presumed powerless. If the US, China, and Russia are to be seen as the great powers, and Canada and Europe as middle powers, then it is my suggestion that a large number of others can constitute the power of the collective, and must seek to do exactly as Prime Minister Carney has prescribed for the middle powers. We of the Caribbean must forge new relationships and develop new norms among ourselves, even as we seek to develop new relationships and new norms with the great and the middle powers. We must accept that geopolitical realities are rapidly changing and fashion a regional strategy that looks inward with equal rigor and fervor as it looks outward. We must accelerate the regional integration movement to create a truly single Caribbean economic space. In this regard, we must accept the new reality that the politics of the global north is shifting domestically to the right with the attendant hostility towards immigrants. Recently, the United Kingdom advised St. Lucians that they must now get a visa to visit their friends and family in the UK. They did the same thing to Dominica in 2023. They cite abuses of the asylum system and link that to our citizenship by investment programs. Well, St. Kitts Nevis, Antigua Barbuda, and Grenada also have citizenship by investment programs. We must only then ask the question, for whom then will the bell next toll? We see the United States cracking down on illegal migration and accelerating deportations. Someone joked with me recently, you know the acronym ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So someone joked with me recently that at a party in Brooklyn, he told a fellow from Grenada that he was out of ice, and the man started to run. When he spoke to the man the next day and asked him, "Boy, what you run for?" The man said, "I thought you said ice outside." I use a moment of levity, brothers and sisters, to make the point that some in our diaspora must prepare themselves either to come home or be sent home. Just 3 days ago, the United States announced that Grenadians seeking a US visa must now post a US $15,000 bond, which they will lose if they overstay in America. Since you and I, and more importantly, the United States of America, knows that the average Grenadian cannot afford such a bond, this new policy effectively closes the door on many to visit the United States. The US has done the same to Dominica and to Antigua. I predict, sadly, that we of the Caribbean can look forward to more such actions. But I say to you today that this doesn't frighten me, and it shouldn't frighten you. The new anti-immigrant policies of the global north should be an opportunity for the Caribbean to transform our mindset and our region. For years, our best and brightest have left our shores to build distant lands. Caribbean governments must now turn attention to seeing how we can incentivize our people to come back to the region and to make their contributions here at home. We should reorient our thinking as a region and as a people and start to look for opportunities within our own Caribbean, Latin America, Africa, and the global South. We should tell our people, when you're coming, bring your wealth with you. Bring your energy and ideas with you. Bring your entrepreneurial spirit with you. Bring your training with you. Bring your education, your insights, and your innovation with you. Sell your home in Queens and buy a home in Grand Anse. Sell your shares in the New York Stock Exchange and buy shares on the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange. And transfer your bank account, and I know some Grenadians have some good bank accounts. Transfer your bank accounts from the Bank of New York to Grenada Cooperative Bank. I have recently seen PM Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda and PM Andrew Holness of Jamaica calling on their nationals to consider returning home. I today amplify that call. We must create greater opportunities for intra-regional migration, business establishment, investment, and travel. In this regard, the OECS model is an excellent prototype for all of CARICOM. What many see as a crisis, we here in Grenada and across the Caribbean must see as an opportunity to shift our generational brain drain to a brain gain. Our people must not become unwanted guests in foreign lands. We must not beg anybody to enter their shores. We must make Caribbean shores more attractive to Caribbean people. In this new world order, we must hasten the harmonization of regional foreign policy and seek to deepen alliances with Latin America, Africa, India, the Pacific nations, and the Middle East. I am not suggesting that we abandon long-held cherished relations with the great and middle powers, but in this new paradigm, we must also construct new relationships and by so doing create greater options for our region. What we cannot and must not do is to continue to wish the new norms of the global condition away. Nostalgia is not a plan. Hope is not a plan. Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean needs a plan to confront this new world order, lest we succumb to the brutality of the law of the jungle. So what then, brothers and sisters, does this all mean for Grenada and for the rest of us in the Caribbean Sea? It means, in my view, that we need new thinking and new approaches to governance at the domestic and regional levels. Grenada, like St. Kitts and Nevis, my own country, and the rest of the OECS, has an open economy dependent on inflows of revenue from tourism, agricultural trade, domestic taxes, and in the recent past, the Citizenship by Investment program. I have argued for many years, and I believe it must now be clear to many, that in my own country of St. Kitts and Nevis, we desperately need to expand and diversify our economy. The same, I can say, is true of Grenada. My research suggests that citizenship by investment accounted for as much as 30 to 35% of annual government revenues in Grenada in recent years. In St. Lucia, that contribution in recent years has been around 15 to 25% of annual government revenue. In Dominica, that contribution has been around 40 to 60% of annual revenue. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, the most dependent economy on citizenship by investment, that number was as high as 60 to 70% of annual revenues. These numbers tell the tale of OECS economies heavily dependent on a single industry, which in turn is largely dependent on policy prescriptions set not by us, policy prescriptions that are set in London, Ottawa, Washington, D.C., and Brussels. If our national revenue and development is outsourced to policymakers in distant lands, then our claims of political independence are but mere imagination. It is no secret that the European Union wants these CBI programs to end. Already the programs in Malta and Cyprus have been closed down. Tightening visa restrictions on our people, as illustrated earlier, is one way that global powers are seeking to bring pressure to bear on these programs and on our fragile economies. Grenada, like her OECS neighbors, has to move at pace to diversify its economy away from the significant dependence on CBI flows. Now here's my suggestion. I suggest 1, Grenada should accelerate the development of the renewable energy sector. Here in Grenada, you have abundant sun, wind, and oceans, and I'm advised that you may also have abundant geothermal potential. Grenada can transform its economy to an energy-based economy over the near term. New jobs, new revenue streams, huge savings from a move away from oil, insulation from external shocks, particularly from oil-producing regions, new industries like data centers, which require large amounts of cheap energy, and above all, significant cost relief for residents and local businesses from Hillsborough and Carriacou to St. George's right here in Grenada. Grenada must proceed at pace to achieve energy independence. 2, investing in greater food security, including agriculture and agriculture value-added products. There's no reason why Grenada and the rest of the region cannot become self-sufficient in much of what we eat. Fish, chicken, pork, vegetables, fruits, all can be produced at scale in Grenada. You have abundant water and fertile lands. These same lands once built immense wealth for the British Empire. Let us now use our lands to feed ourselves and build wealth for our people. Again, this insulates us from external shocks and can potentially help us to better control the cost and, equally important, the quality of what our people eat. If Grenada is anything like St. Kitts and Nevis, we are seeing higher incidences of non-communicable diseases. Even our children are exhibiting higher incidences of obesity. Some are saying it is in part due to the poor quality of food that we are importing and eating on a daily basis. When you get yams from the countryside here, you know it is a good yam. When you get yams from Miami, you have no idea what you're getting. And if, again, Grenada is anything like St. Kitts and Nevis, I went to a spot the other day to buy some fried chicken, and the size of the chicken leg was the same size as my leg. And I said, that can't be a normal chicken. So I'm not eating that. The truth is we have no idea as to the quality of what we're importing and what we are eating. And the result is more sickness in our people. So growing your own food allows you to control cost, and it allows you to control quality. Food security, in my opinion, is national security. Number 3, we should get the growing cruise industry to contribute more to enjoy our shores. The Caribbean currently accounts for 45% of the global cruise industry. Cruise companies, I'm told, generate US $30 billion in annual revenues from their Caribbean operations. But the Caribbean only captures an estimated $4 billion of that value. We are earning less than 15% of the total value generated from the use of our oceans, beaches, and islands. The OECS has a strong cruise sector, but charges very little to the cruise companies. Grenada, I'm told, at approximately US $450, has among the lowest head tax rate in the entire region. The OECS should harmonize their head tax, which currently hovers around $7 per passenger. The Bahamas, for example, is more than 3 times that. So if you imagine with me a simple harmonization across the OECS, so whether you're in St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Kitts, Antigua and Barbuda, wherever you go in the OECS, you're paying the same $10 or $12. It can make a huge difference in terms of your revenue. Number 4, we must accelerate investment in the creative economy. In Nevis, my little island, we took a decision in 2020 at the height of the COVID pandemic to start a film industry. It was bold and many said it could not be done. As I speak to you today, I am proud to report that in the past 5 years, we have seen 14 feature films, 2 television series, and 4 fashion catalog photo shoots done on the island of Nevis. Our young people have developed skills as makeup artists, set and costume designers, and more of them are getting acting roles. In addition, we have seen tremendous spin-offs in transportation, catering, logistics, and other services. My brothers and sisters, I am standing right now in the land of Spice Mass, one of the best and fastest growing carnivals in the entire region. Now, some of you may say, old woman alone me taking home. Some fellas, and I'm sorry for you if you have to say this, but some fellas must say, oh Lord, I get horn again. And we all know, certainly since last year, that jab can never be a bad decision. Jab is uniquely Grenadian, and I am here to tell you that all around the region, jab is taking over. My question, Grenada, is how do you leverage that and the creative arts into a major economic contributor? Number 5, we should accelerate the development of special economic zones for identified sectors which the country wishes to develop. Tech, AI, hospitality, agriculture, education, health, residential, all offer possibilities. In my own country of St. Kitts and Nevis, we have recently passed something that we refer to as sustainable economic zone legislation. The intention to create these special zones which exist all across the region already, in Jamaica, in Cayman Islands, and in Latin America and elsewhere. Many of you, I'm sure, here go to Dubai. And if you do, there's a place they call the DIFC, the Dubai International Financial Center, which is an example of a special zone. Again, a matter for your consideration. Number 6, and I come back to the Citizenship by Investment program. I am not suggesting that we abandon the program. I'm suggesting that we reorient the program to look to meaningful investment from existing economic citizens rather than constantly seeking new economic citizens. Think about it. If we can get even 10% of existing economic citizens to invest in Grenada and the OECS in more substantial ways, our long-term economic prospects would be significantly enhanced. I have proposed in my own country, and I suggest to you also that you develop a bespoke unit within IMA Grenada, dedicated to contacting and networking with economic citizens of Grenada globally to provide them with investment and contribution opportunities in the country. Now, why do I say this? I say this because for a long time, the OECS countries have been competing with each other to see who could get the most number of people to apply to their citizenship by investment programs. And so you hear the arguments, and Lucia did 1,000, Grenada did 500, St. Kitts did 1,500, and they're competing with each other, which has forced us sometimes to compete on price and what some have described as a race to the bottom. I am saying, rather than doing all that, why not reach out to the existing citizens that you have and see to what extent they can do more in terms of your national development? And that idea came to me because I made a trip to Dubai some time ago and I met a chap from Yemen. And he indicated that his family was among the 5th wealthiest families from that country. And he said to me 46 members of his family had citizenship in St. Kitts and Nevis. And he then turned to me and said, is it a real place? And I thought that was an interesting question, because he had no idea of the country. And I thought to myself, if this wealthy family could be approached to aid us in a far more substantial way in our national development, to build hospitals and schools and roads and to invest in hotels and infrastructure, how much that would add value to this program. But even as we look for more foreign investment, and I take you now to point 7, we must develop a comprehensive strategy to incentivize locals and Grenadian nationals in the diaspora to invest at home. Small business development has to become an urgent priority. Number 8, Grenada pioneered offshore university education in the region with the now famous St. George's University. Is it possible to incentivize the offshore education sector to encourage larger numbers of international students to our shores? Students and their families contribute significantly to the local economy. And lastly, point 9, and perhaps controversially, Grenada needs to grow its population. Now, across the OECS, populations are too small, and that limits our potential for rapid growth. Local birth rates are low, so we must have targeted migration and appeal to our diaspora to return home. In Barbados, Prime Minister Motley has called on Bajans to have more children. Prime Minister Drew in St. Kitts and Nevis has publicly appealed for the same. Of course, in both countries, the population has responded by asking those prime ministers to lead by example. But that perhaps is a different story for a different time. What I will say is that it is nigh impossible to develop a nation with a working population of less than 60,000 people. That severely limits our access to human capital and forces governments to function with a very thin tax base. Now, my brothers and sisters, I have sought in the time allotted to me to raise some concerns, but also to posit some possible solutions for consideration. I do not suggest that my ideas are somehow a panacea, but if they seek to make us think more deeply about our current condition and our prospects for the future, then I'm satisfied that I would have made a small contribution to our regional dialogue. Of one thing I am certain in all of this: there is no one who is coming to save Grenada. There's no one coming to save the Caribbean. You in this Spice Island must save yourselves. We of the OECS must save ourselves. And the Caribbean region must save itself. I end by congratulating your leader, the Honorable Peter David, and the brave men and women who have stepped up to the altar of public service under the banner of the Democratic People's Movement. Now I've been a politician for the past 20 years. If you're wondering, I started when I was only 5. That's why I still look so young. But let me tell you, public service requires great sacrifice. The toll on you and your families will be heavy. The attacks and efforts to malign will come on radio, in print, and now on social media. Long-held relationships may suffer, but I urge you to fear not, for we're reminded in Holy Writ, when it is said, "Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven." In this life, there is no greater reward than living a life of service to others, serving your country, and creating policies for lasting growth and development of your people will be your lasting legacy. So I charge you of this new political movement not to be afraid, and be not weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Be bold, be fearless, be passionate, be humble, be people-focused and people-centric, and let the spirit of the ancestors and the grace of God guide you as you work to create a better nation and a better Caribbean. Never, ever forget that in Grenada as elsewhere, your people matter most. I end simply by thanking you and saying, may God bless you, and may he continue to bless the wonderful people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Thank you.
Premier Brantley, thank you for those words. Your presence honors this movement and reminds us that when we build Grenada, we're building part of something greater. We're building a Caribbean story of self-determination and progress. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Premier Brantley. Delegates, over the past months, this movement has grown from an idea to a force, from living rooms to community centers, and now this Congress. Let us take a moment to see how far we've come and where we're going. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. We'll get it rectified, but we'll move on with the program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newly elected National Executive of the Democratic People's Movement. I begin with our Diaspora Committee Chair, Mr. Anthony Bridgman. Our Women's Committee Chair, Jasmine Redhead. Our Next Gen Liaison, Naomi Donald. Our Deputy General Secretary, Greater St. George St. David, Mr. Brian McQueen. Our Deputy General Secretary North, Mickey Alexander. Our Public Relations Officer, Communications Secretary, Naomi Donald. Our Deputy Treasurer, Yvonne Simon. And our Deputy Chairperson, Pamela Williams. Our Treasurer, Glennis Roberts. Our General Secretary, Mr. Derek James. Our Chairperson, Alistair Bain. Our Deputy Political Leader, Arlie Gill. And our Political Leader, Peter David. Ladies and gentlemen, a party without candidates is just a talking shop. A movement without candidates is just a feeling. Today you will meet some of the men and women who will turn this movement into seats in Parliament. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to introduce themselves. They are not here to give a campaign speech. They are here so you can meet them, know them, and carry their names back to your communities. We begin with the North. We begin with Andy Best for St. Patrick West. Andy Best.
Living on the poor side, never believed it was my portion. I always had a prayer for a better day. but it feels so far away. So I keep putting in the work, man. When no one else can see the vision, and even when I hate, I never hate me. They never kill the dream. So if you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know what.
My brothers and sisters, those of you who are here, those of you who are home and in the diaspora, good evening. I am Andy Bess, and I am the candidate for St. Patrick's West. To all of my supporters from St. Patrick's West who are here, together we stand. I must recognize my mom, who is in our presence here this evening. Mom, please stand and give her a best wave. Thank you for being a good mother. I love you. I was born and raised to be a servant leader. I served as a taxpayer, a youth leader. I worked in our schools, and I owned and operate a driving school that has led our young people into taking the first step of becoming independent. I have also brought investors to our shows so that our nation people can get jobs. I am proud to stand here before you to represent St. Patrick's West. It is an honor to continue to serve in this capacity. I have been, and I am still, the president of a nonprofit organization that has led 11 of our Grenadian young people in obtaining scholarships to the US. It is said that you must not blow your own trumpet, but the work speaks for itself. I am running because St. Patrick has been waiting long enough for proper representation, for a real candidate that serves the people, not self. Can you imagine? The Montreat Medical Center has been renovated over and over. It's enough. It is time to make such a facility a specialized center where our people can be treated properly. I will fight for proper health service in our parish and, of course, in the nation on a whole, so that our people can get continued service day and night. Persons have died because of lack of the presence of our professionals, but you cannot blame them. It is the system in which they are operating under. And we are here to change that system. Our breakwater project, it has been there for 2 decades now. And it's not because there isn't funds. The funds are available. But because of poor representation, nothing is happening. And this can help to develop the economic activities in the parish, where our fishermen, our farmers can get exposure to more market opportunities, where our people can get reliable jobs that pays and stays. Too much of our brilliant minds have left our shores. Why? Because there isn't enough opportunity here. The movement will create jobs that pays and stays. The Premier talked about our cultural jab and other activities that put us on the world map. We call it Krong City, but is there any cultural center? We need to construct a cultural center that can give opportunities to our potential Calypso, Soca Monarch, you know, those who are striving in that industry, an opportunity to grow. And of course, we cannot forget our farmers. They need facilities that will enhance their produce so that it can stay longer on the market. All this can and will happen if we work together, guided by faith, grounded in service, and united in purpose. I am humble enough to know that I am not better than anybody, but I'm wise enough to know I am the best for the West. Together we move. Together we move. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming from St. Andrew Northeast, Pamela Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, Pamela Williams.
Started off living on the poor side. Never believed it was my portion. I always had a prayer for a better day. But it feels so far away. So I keep putting in the work, man. When no one else can see the vision. And even when I hate, I never hate me. They never killed the dream. So if you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, cause you don't know the story. You just see the glory.
Standing on the protocol already established. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. My name is Pamela Williams, and I am proud to stand as a candidate for St. Andrews Northeast. Northeast in the house? I have operated a business in both Tivoli and Grenville for many years. Thanks. Thank you. I have watched Grenadians from every political color sit together, debate together, help each other. Green, yellow. They all want the same things: food for their children, a good life and good education, and a chance to build something here instead of leaving. I am running because I have grandchildren, and I refuse to hand them a country where who you vote for matters than who you are as a Grenadian. St. Andrews Northeast feeds this country. We are the basket of Grenada. Over 80% of our economic trees had gone. Our farmers lost everything. All the roads that connect them to the market still washed out at every rain season. No schedule, no accountability, just waiting and begging the politicians. If I am elected, I will fight for farm roads on a public maintenance schedule, health station that has stock and staff 24/7, and an apprenticeship program that keep young people in Grenada instead of watching them leave. 30 years in my shop has taught me that unity can't work. It had worked there, and I think it could work for the rest of Grenada. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, my name is Pamela Williams, and I am the movement, and you are the movement. Together we move. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela Williams. I now ask you to join me in welcoming from St. Andrew Northwest, Alvin Holas.
So if you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, cause you don't know the story. You just see the glory. Never felt my pain now. I just wanna turn up right now. Boss, I like a dance on the floor right now, right now. And anywhere I go right now, I just wanna do the most right now, right now. It's a celebration, let we celebrate. Light another one, let we levitate. Feel so good, now I'm feeling great. Put up your glass, take a toast right now, right now. Some people thought they.
When patterns are broken, new world emerges, and we must not get stuck in the corridors of traditions. Good afternoon, Trade Center, and good afternoon, Grenada. My name is Alvin Holas, and I'm proud to stand before you as the movement's candidate for St. Andrew Northwest. As I move around the constituency, I'm often told that's the hot seat in the next election. I come from Monlong, raised by two hardworking farmers, Christopher and Iva Holas. I know what it means to work, to struggle, and to stand strong for your family and your community. I am not here by accident. My journey started right here in Grenada, Monlong to be exact. I attended St. Matthew's Catholic School, then Grenville Secondary School, and went on to the T.A. Marisho Community College. From there, I continued to the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, where I completed both my bachelor's degree and my first master's degree. While at UWI, I had the noble honor of serving as president of the Guild of Students, representing nearly 6,000 students from over 55 nationalities. That experience taught me how to lead, how to listen, and how to bring people together to get results. I went on to earn a Chevening Scholarship and studied in Edinburgh, Scotland, building on that foundation which started right here in Grenada. Since then, I have built a career helping countries design health systems that actually work. My friends, I have sat where decisions are made, and I have seen what is possible. One of my greatest strengths is that I bring local, regional, and international experience. I understand our communities. I understand our region, and I understand the global standards we must meet to move Grenada forward. And brothers and sisters, I came home, not because I had to, because I chose to. Because I want to build here in the community that raised me. But I have also seen too much. Too many families struggling to access basic health care. Too many promises made and forgotten. I have seen a national health insurance system for Grenada designed, costed, ready, then stopped without honest explanation to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. I have seen people trained at TAMCC right in my beloved St. Andrews Northwest campus in Maribor, then forced to leave Grenada because there was nothing for them to stay for. Brothers and sisters, enough is enough. Enough is enough. St. Andrew Northwest deserves leadership that shows up, that listens, and that delivers. I came home because I believe in what this country can become. And I also believe in what the constituency I represent, St. Andrew Northwest, can become. My generation, and I'm very young, with a lot of experience. My generation is ready to build. We are not the future. We are the now. I am not coming to sit. I am coming to work. I come for this work. So my friends, I want to say to you, this is not just a campaign. This right here is a movement. Thank you for your trust. Together, we move.
Thank you, Mr. Holas. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming from St. Andrew Southwest, Mr. Aaron Lewis. Aaron Lewis.
If you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, cause you don't know the story. You just see the glory. Never felt my pain now. I just wanna turn up right now. Boss, I lick a dance on the floor right now. And anywhere I go right now, I just wanna do the most right now. It's a celebration, let me celebrate. Right another one, let we levitate. Feel so good now, I'm feeling great. Put on your glass, take a toast right now. Some people thought they could have break me, but them never know this is a fate thing. I swear I'm leaving all of them behind me. Now I'm happy as can be. I got to do this thing my own way.
Good afternoon, Grenada. How are we doing today? Today is a historic day. We must say, we're in an exodus. We're coming from the old and we're moving into the new. This is the movement. My name is Aaron Lewis. I am from Laddick, St. Andrews. I was born in Beverland. I grew up around Laddick, Richmond, and all the surrounding areas. I trotted every hill. I climbed every mountain. And I walked the fields like everybody in my era did. But lately, something has happened. There's been abandonment of tradition in Grenada. We failed. Our leadership has failed us. I have left Grenada for better opportunities when I was 17. I went to North America where I got a post-high school education. My expertise are construction technology, and I learned a lot to come back here and show a new way of doing things. I've seen in my community the denigration of many things. Our healthcare system is in shambles. We don't have reliable sources of water, even if we live in the places where the most rivers are. We must do something. We must have leadership that cares. And I've decided that I would pick up the mantle with you and work hard to bring resources to St. Andrews Southwest. We need academic and then employment opportunities for young people. That's been lacking in our community. We need to bring education back. We need to start simple programs, which we're going to start when I'm enabled to do so, because we are a movement that starts from the ground, and we're going to build ourselves up into a community that mirrors no other community. St. Andrews Southwest is on the move. Today we start, the movement begins, and the exodus from the old to the new is today. We're moving forward. Together we move.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming from St. George's South, Charmaine Gibbs. Ladies and gentlemen, Charmaine Gibbs.
So if you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, 'cause you don't know the story. You just see the glory. Never felt my pain now. I just wanna turn up right now. Bust a liquor down on the floor right now, right now. And anywhere I go right now, I just wanna do the most right now, right now. It's a celebration, let me celebrate. It's another one, let we levitate. Feel so good now, I'm feeling great. Put on your glass, take a toast right now, right now, right now, right now.
I was about to say they saved the best for last, but there's some more. So here I go. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charmaine Gibbs, and I'm proud to stand before you as the movement's candidate for St. George South. I grew up in Golf Course, the daughter of the late Ernest Joe Gibbs, the first windwards bowler to take 7 wickets in an innings. I don't know if some of you remember. And a man who gave decades of service to the Ministry of Health. From him, I learned what it means to serve, to show up, to give your life to something bigger than yourself. My mother, a strong and glamorous woman from the small village of Degopi St. Mark's, shaped me just as much. She raised me with values of hard work, honesty, and respect, and taught me the importance of carrying myself with pride and confidence, mirroring her strength and grace today. I stand here because of them. I carry these values into my fight. Like many of you, my journey has not been a straight line. It has taken resilience, growth, and determination to become the woman standing before you today. I have rebuilt, I have worked, I have contributed. I built a business in tourism. I served this country during COVID, standing before the nation on GIS at a time when people needed calm, clarity, and reassurance. And through it all, I remain committed to my community and to my country. That is who I am. I know what they do to women who dare to step forward, but I also know that it's a person's future would always be greater than their past. Because right now in St. George South, there are people who are neglected, discouraged, and overlooked. People who are waiting for someone to believe in them again. I speak all the languages of the very diverse communities that make up the Great South. I'm here to say to you today, your story is not over. But more than that, I will fight for hope, for second chances, and for a community where no one is written off. Because I understand what it means to rise, and I believe in St. George South, where everyone has a chance of living a good quality of life. If elected, I will push for infrastructure that keeps this constituency moving, roads that connect our communities and support the tourism industry that drives our economy. I will advocate for a proper medical facility, healthcare that serves our people with dignity. I will work to ensure our young people can build their futures right here in St. George South and not be forced to look elsewhere. The needs of this community are greater than fear. Ladies and gentlemen, today, together we... Thank you.
If you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, 'cause you don't know the story.
That was Charmaine Gibbs, ladies and gentlemen. We now present our candidate for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, Mr. Christopher Cudjoe. Mr. Christopher Cudjoe.
So if you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, 'cause you don't know the story. You just see the glory. Never felt my pain now. I just wanna turn up right now. Boss, I lick her down to the floor right now, right now. And anywhere I go right now, I just wanna do the most right now, right now. It's a celebration, let me celebrate. It's another one, let we levitate. Feels so good now, I'm feeling great. Get glass, take a touch right now, right now. Some people thought they could have break me.
Good afternoon, Trade Center. The movement is here. Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Cudjoe, and I'm honored to stand as the candidate for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. I was born in the community of Meldrum, Belvedere, and I was raised in that very same community by committed parents who instilled strong values of integrity, perseverance, and service into me. Those values guide me today as I seek to represent you. I have walked the beaten paths through that community, and I know the struggles of my people. I also know their successes. I've watched families in my community struggle to secure proper housing, good paying jobs. I have seen our young people leave because there were no opportunities to build a secure future. I am one of those who left to secure better opportunities, and now I'm back. I've built a career in finance and investments, and now I offer my skills and my competencies to you, my people, so that we can build this country together. I have seen what happens to families and countries when politicians forget the promises that they've made. I have seen the neglect and the arrogance of elected officials. And I say to you and to Carriacou, you deserve better. I am here to serve you, and together we move with the movement. Thank you.
If you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, 'cause you don't know the story.
Thank you, Mr. Cudjoe. From St. John, your deputy political leader, Ali Gill. He's a lawyer, a former senator, a former minister of culture and information, Grenada's former ambassador to CARICOM. He helped build the Spice Mars Corporation. He fought for years to move Emancipation Day to where it is now, where it belongs, August 1st, the actual date. Ali Gill has never chased a title. He has spent his life serving this country through government, through culture, through the courts, through the region. He comes from St. John. He is running for St. John, and today he stands as the deputy political leader of the Democratic People's Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, Ali Gill.
Breaking news! The comrade back again! The comrade back again! Sisters and brothers, comrades, allow me to acknowledge the diplomatic corps with us here this afternoon as we continue to stand in solidarity with Cuba. We're facing a very difficult time. Cuba has given us so much. If only now we can stand in solidarity with them and give them and lift our voices in support of the government and people of Cuba. Sisters and brothers, 24 hours ago, I was on a stage in The Hague in the Netherlands, advocating in this ongoing struggle for reparative justice. Through the marvels of modern-day travel and technology, I am here today on this stage, where the strains of that struggle remain the same. On Saturday morning, I was in The Hague. This Sunday afternoon, I am in Granans, different venue, same struggle. There is a direct link between the young black boy who went to sleep tonight on the Gold Coast of Africa to the youth hanging out in front Bucky Shopping Grove. The struggle which I am imploring all of us to embrace, those of my generation, and even those immediately after me, is a rite of passage, not defined by the Middle Passage, but colored by it. From the one this movement had my moral support, that was never in question, but has conducted all aspects of the struggle in different areas or different stages. From conference rooms to courtrooms, there was something that kept telling me that there is more than I can do. There is more that I should do. But what life has taught me, I want to teach. And I've learned that you don't join a movement, you get swept by it. And you become the movement, and the movement becomes you. So together with you, we are off and running. For too long, Grenada has been between a rock and a hard place. I don't know if the rock colored yellow or the hard place colored green. For too long, we have had political institutions parading as political parties that do not respect the constitutions, that do not abide by the principles of democracy. And as such, you are allowed to be a member of the political party, but they have a cap and a ceiling for you. That they say to you, there are certain positions which simply you cannot attain. You could walk like a donkey. You could walk like a donkey, but you can't ride a donkey. Comrades, this is a political institution that belongs to you. And every boy and girl, every member of this political institution can aspire to reach any political position in this political movement. That is the hallmark of democracy. Because if political parties are not for themselves democratic, how can we allow them, therefore, to be the guardians of national democracy? We have witnessed one side calling the other side susu. And the other side say, take the susu. We have seen one side accuse the other of corruption. And the other one say, look, bon pot terrorist skillity bam bam black. In other words, you do and I do. Both political parties, they have failed to raise lift the political culture in the country. They have failed to lift the standards in this country. And I say to you, the members and the supporters of the political movement, support the movement, but do not use social media, do not use talk show to harass and to troll and to say offensive things against political opponents who do not belong to the movement. We do not want to encourage that culture. Let them roll in the mud by themselves. We go build a pig pen for them. I heard our eloquent and distinguished guest speaker spoke about so many inspiring themes in his subject. No one will save us. I remember years ago when I championed and designed Jab Jab, they came from me from within and without. When we developed Spike's Mass and we started developing the cultural industries here, they came for me from within and without. He spoke about Film Commission in 2020. I set up one in 2010. So they cannot speak to us about ideas and initiatives the rock and the hard place. We have ideas afresh, we have ideas abundant. We represent the brightest color. All you like my shot? This is a call to arms of all progressive men and women in Grenada to join the movement. This is a call to arms of all young men, all young women, all persons of all walks of life to join the movement. And I say to you this afternoon, without a shadow of a doubt, without any fear of contradiction, that in Honorable Charles Peter Charles David, we have the most experience, we have the most dynamic political leadership. At this time and at this moment in Grenada's political history. That, comrades, is uncontested, is not in dispute. That is not in dispute. I do not have to speak about anyone else. That, sisters and brothers, is not in dispute. And I would not speak about the competence of his main assistant. It's Peter and Ali again. Ali and Peter again. It's bim and bam. And we're going to get things done. Sisters and brothers, duty calls. We rise from a broken house and we survive the heartbreak, but we always kept hope alive. You know, in 1989, the Calypsonians told us, you know, the musicians told us, and you have to sing the chorus. You vote, you don't vote. You vote, you don't vote. The heart of the house. The heart of the house. Now we have a different thing. Now we have a better thing. So in this defining moment in history, on this stage and in this place, we shall lay our markers down. We shall take a stand. In this moment of national uncertainty, I say to you that Charles Peter David is best equipped. He is best equipped to lead this country at this time. We have witnessed that our democracy has been transformed from transparency and accountability to only a need-to-know basis. So they tell us what they think we need. And we sit and we accept that. The business of the government of Grenada belongs to the people of Grenada. And some cultivate rage and hate. We still believe in this promised land. We shall not fear the future, but we will run towards it. And don't ever let them make you believe that because the political parties were established long before us, we can beat them. I am not in this to win 2 or 3 seats. I am in this to win the next election. Because, sisters and brothers, comrades, we are better able, we are better equipped, we are better qualified, and we are more experienced than they are. And we must say that with all the confidence that we have. This movement is a mixture of old, young, and in between, and everyone. And we believe and we know that we have the most experienced hand on the wheel, sisters and brothers. We shall not fear the future. I want to make this call to my generation. I want to make this call to persons, to friends and foes who have been running away from the political stage. They know who I'm speaking about. I speak to them all the time for the last couple of weeks. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to join the movement. Grenada needs you. So let's go kick the door down. Let's go make real change. Let's make a bit of magic. Change is not a hashtag, but it comes through action. It comes through dedication. It comes through inclusion. It comes through commitment, and it shall be made. Comrades, I am the movement. You are the movement. We are the movement. See you soon. In a bar, in a rum shop, on the street corner, on the highways, on the byways, making movement. Making movement. Thank you so much.
It's so fire in the man. So tell them, let them know. I never know Miss Carpet. With good lyrics, melody, and tempo. They go see this boy like never before. I don't want to get rough, but enough is enough. Mama, this ain't no bluff. Take a taste of the royal stuff.
Thank you to our Deputy Political Leader, Ali Gill. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier I promised you a 3-minute video on where we are, where we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that video before I bring on our final candidate for this evening.
I'm from St. Patrick, and I'm the movement. Strong, ready, yeah.
I am Abakai from St. Patrick's. I am a Grenadian, and I am the movement.
I am P. Oliver Isaac. I am Grenadian. I'm from St. Patrick's. I support the movement. I am the movement.
My name is Mario Noel. I am Grenadian. I am from St. Patrick, and I am the movement.
Four elections.
I'm Grenadian, I'm from St. Patrick, and I'm the movement. Strong, ready, yeah.
I am Abakai from St. Patrick's. I am a Grenadian, and I am the movement.
I am P. Oliver Isaac. I am Grenadian. I'm from St. Patrick's. I support the movement. I am the movement.
My name is Maria Noel. I am Grenadian. I am from St. Patrick, and I am the movement.
Thank you. And before we bring on our final speaker, I would like to invite Kamala Stevens to sing our party song. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Stevens.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Awesome. So I'm actually, right? I'm actually going to do 2 songs. I'm going to do, in everything that we do, we like to give God thanks and praise. So I'm going to do He Made a Way, and then I'm going to sing our theme song. You may have heard it, you may have not, but we're going to get familiar with it. He made a way first. standing here, not knowing how we'll get through this test, but holding on to faith we know best. Nothing can catch him by surprise. He got it figured out, and he's watching us now. And when it looks as if we can win, you wrap me in your arms and step in. Everything we need you supply. You've got this in control, and now we know that you made a way. Let me see your flags. When our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over, you, God, you made a way. You're looking beautiful, Grenada, and we're standing here only because you made a way. That's right, I see the red, green, and yellow. You made a way. Now we're here, looking back on where we came from. Because of God and nothing we've done to deserve the love and mercy He's shown. His grace is strong enough to pick us up where you made a way. When our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over, you, God, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. You made a way. When our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over, you made a way. And we're standing here only because you made a way. And this is what He does. Hey, He moves mountains and He caused walls to fall with His power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because He moves mountains and He caused walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made. And we're standing here. You caused walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles. There is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made. And we're standing here only because you made. And we're standing here only because you made a way. Thank you. Thank you. And now for a very special moment. This might be your first time hearing the theme song, but we do hope you like it and you get behind it. I'll come back to do it. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us for a few minutes. We're going to get this sorted shortly.
Off living on the poor side. Never believe it was my portion. I always had a prayer for a better day. But it feels so far away. So I keep putting in the work, man. When no one else can see the vision. And even when I hate, I never hate me. They never killed the dream. So if you see me dancing by myself, my hands up in the air, just know I hustle hard to make my money. So don't worry, cause you don't know the story. You just see the glory.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will definitely rectify that, but I have something greater first. Finally, from the town of St. George, he has served as Grenada Minister of Foreign Affairs. He has served as Minister of Agriculture. He has held his seat through 2 political parties, through every challenge, through every test. He did not start this movement to become something. He started it because something had to be done. Delegates, candidates, guests, your political leader, Charles Peter David.
When you see Jala, let me tell you, if you're not wrong, where everything is alright, so we gonna walk through the roads of creation.
All right, good evening, brothers and sisters. A pleasure to be here. Let me first recognize my dear friend, my brother from Nevis, the Premier of Nevis, my brother Mark Brantley. I want us to give him a round of applause again. What an outstanding presentation we had this evening. And I ain't sure we could talk to the airport about whether or not we're sending him back, but we let Nevis know. We might just keep him. Members of the head table, I want to recognize Ambassador, my dear brother, Jorge, my friend from Venezuela. I want to recognize, and Jorge is also the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. I want to recognize Ambassador Yang Shu of the People's Republic of China, and Ambassador Yadiri Echinke, I'm not sure, maybe I'll get it wrong, I'll get it good eventually, from the Republic, from Cuba. I also want to recognize the former President of the Senate, Brother Chester Humphrey, and the Senator for Labor, my dear brother, Andre. Andre has been a stalwart in the trade union movement, and I want to recognize him and his colleague, my brother Trevor Xavier. Andre Lewis, the Senator for Labor. I also want to recognize the newly elected members of the National Executive of the Democratic People's Movement, members of the movement present, friends of the movement, sisters and brothers all. Good afternoon. The candidates, yes, Lord, how could I not remember them? Because most of them are on the executive too, but I want to recognize, and they're beautiful. Give them a round of applause. We're going to win the elections just based on beauty. We ain't going to say nothing else. Let's just have the most beautiful candidates. Election done. Brothers and sisters, today marked a significant moment in the consolidation of this ancient dream of our people for unity, for a sense of a united national purpose and political action. I want to thank all of you for your participation. I want to also thank all the members and friends of the movement who worked tirelessly over the last several months to get us here. Kirk, Troy, and others, my dear friend Kirk Sita. Let's give Kirk a round of applause for his excellent work, not only now, but at the launch, and my dear brother Troy Garvey, who is somewhere in the shadows doing excellent work. And others who work behind the scenes, some of them you don't know they exist, but they're there doing their thing. And I want to thank them for orchestrating such a spectacular, such a good outcome. I also want to thank my friend, as I said earlier, and regionalist Premier Mark, for joining us here today and delivering a landmark address. Very timely address. And I guarantee you there will be much discussion about this brilliant address in the media and among people in the Caribbean in the coming weeks. Thanks again, my dear brother. Today, brothers and sisters, added more cracks to the facade of a politics driven by fear and fueled by hatred. We witnessed comrades and friends putting their hands up in this room, not just to vote for members who will be in the vanguard of this movement, but as a signal of their own readiness, of your readiness, to be part of this march forward. From henceforth, our collective tasks are to find believers who shall begin to understand that there is a different way, a better way, to build a better future for this beloved nation. Hundreds of delegates from across the land gathered here from early this morning, not just to select an executive and to give their nods to a progressive agenda, but to set the tone for our engagement in our communities, in our yards. Brothers and sisters, together we continue to dream, understanding that every society that achieved something great for itself had hopes cultivated by the dreams of people who willed themselves to create history. People who say it has never been done before are not a reason to despair, but rather a reason for us to be more determined. Let us build a movement not merely for the next election, but the next generation, cultivating a culture for which patriots can be proud, invoking the spirits of ancestors who overcame the worst excesses of history and the people who never lost hope, even in times when families lost their way. And in these times, in these very times, there is a call for leadership with clarity and conscience. Leaders that must inspire nation builders to understand that sovereignty is worth fighting for and worth defending. For the core of our souls are not embedded in transactions or personal aggrandizements, and that the way you take care of your family is by first taking care of your nation. As leaders, we understand that the essence of diplomacy is in understanding and compromising and accommodating. But there must be no excuse for surrendering. Not because we are small does it mean that we must cower and bend to every dictate, to every demand. As you know, sisters and brothers, we are at a most treacherous juncture in history. The world is now engulfed in discord. War has broken out in many regions, and the global rules-based order has collapsed. What we have always believed in is being tested. We are told to remain silent in the face of genocide, not to help neighbors who can't breathe, and to adopt ingratitude because somehow that will curry us some favors. But our parents had something they used to say: ingratitude is worse than obia. I just want to, if you will allow me, welcome the new Cuban ambassador to Grenada. Ambassador, take a bow. Our new ambassador. Ambassador. Thank you, Ambassador. Ambassador, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn if I stand here today and say this nation of ours is a grateful nation. We shall forever be grateful for the bonds and solidarity that have shaped the relations among our people, in good times and in bad times. Please convey our gratitude to your government and people. Thank you. Our small nation, along with many others, is being forced to navigate a jungle where the currency is might, an architecture based on lies. We stand on the bank of rivers whose streams are overflown by disregard and disrespect. We here in Grenada face the specter of tougher economic times, the prospect of increasing marginalization and expanding despair. But we as a people do not have the luxury of just complaining about the way the world is. When a storm is on the horizon, we have to batten down. These are different times that called for different leadership, for a mobilization of the people, and for unprecedented unity. These times call for a new leadership, a new way. We will not even begin to address our problems and challenges if we resort to trolling anyone we disagree with online. We understand that a general election will be held in Grenada this year. In fact, the campaigns have begun already in earnest. But we must reject campaigns that throw shade instead of shining light. If there was ever a prime time, this is it. Which brings me back to the issue of clarity and conscience. We have to turn our backs on parties that traffic in pitting us against each other. They want us to fear each other rather than work together. In seeking to come together, brothers and sisters, we have to turn our backs on people who only believe for them to win, others must lose. And who, rather than put forward bold ideas for development, like we heard this afternoon, become transmitters for rumors and innuendo. We have to turn our backs on those who are good at telling us whom to fear, rather than promoting what we should believe. But I want to stand here this afternoon to advocate what we believe. We believe in the unity of the people. We believe in developing a society and culture that puts a premium on hard work, that seeks fairness for workers, that stands up for the marginalized, and that helps the weak. That is what we believe. We believe in empowering our people, in investing in our communities, in encouraging hand-ups rather than merely handouts. We believe in protecting our collective dignity. My enemies are not those who may run against me, but poverty, discrimination, and disunity. My enemy is lack of access to health care. My enemy is not my neighbor. My enemy is public corruption that drains resources of the state away from the people for whom the resources were intended. My enemy is lack of jobs and opportunities for young men and young women. My enemy is lack of access to finance for our farmers and our next-gen business persons. I repeat, my enemy is not my neighbor. The Grenadian family must be worthy of a good debate, but not discord. We believe in embracing leaders who care, whose life's work is in the sacrifice for the nation. We also believe in cultivating the next generation of leaders who shall come to understand that their personal success even must not be judged by what they gather for themselves, but by what they give to their communities. We believe in restoring honor to leadership. Within this movement, a next generation of leaders is rising up. Young men and women not motivated by greed, but generosity, charity, unselfishness, selflessness. Let's give them a round of applause. We see glimpses of future leadership in men and women, such as Alvin Holas, a business consultant, you heard him earlier, persons like Pamela Williams, former teacher and a businesswoman. We see successful people on this stage, persons in St. Andrews, in St. George's, in St. Patrick, and several others who are in this movement. Leaders who are not afraid to light fires. Yes, leaders who are not afraid to light fires. More fire. That is what we have as our leaders. These leaders are molded by the fire of not just fighting at home, but on a global stage, leaders who have remained grounded even while reaching for the stars. That is why I am so happy to welcome my dear friend and comrade, Senator Ali Gill, into the fold. Let's give him a round of applause again. I am so happy that he is with us. He is many things, but first and foremost, he is a proud son of St. John's, a people who have influenced his worldview, the people of Concord and Marigot, Closier and Grove and Grand Roy, and everywhere in between. It's time to reclaim your son. And the many others who form the leadership of this team. Persons who are not on the stage, some on the stage, some not on the stage. Persons like Dr. Anthony Bridgman, persons like Andrew Worm, Archie Bain, who is here, persons who are assisting, may not be candidates, but assisting with the development of policies for this country. And many others, persons in the diaspora, I want to thank them. Persons in the diaspora, stand and take a bow. These are comrades in Canada and the United States. Stand, take a bow. They have been helping us. And as we've always said, the diaspora is part of us, is part of the movement, it's part of Grenada, and it's an integral part of our development. And those from my generation, men and women of good conscience, we must not let them make us feel guilty about our struggles. For they who are invested in keeping the status quo will seek to do so by distortions. Just because we have been tripped up by our past doesn't mean we are not qualified to fight to reclaim the future. In fact, it is precisely because of our experiences that we are best suited for the tasks ahead. You know, it is almost hilarious that those who fight the hardest to keep the power want to dismiss our just cause and our struggle by saying they only want power. They're fighting hard to keep the power, but they're saying that we only want power. That is absolutely hilarious to us. What is the point of power if you won't lead the people with dignity? What is the point of power if people continue to be marginalized? What is the point of power if we won't spend all our capital on reducing poverty? What is the point of power if it doesn't lead to national redemption, to better health care delivery, to a better life for our farmers and fisher folk, for our next generation? Is it power for power's sake? Let the message go out loud and clear to all those who will hear. We don't want power, we want fairness. We don't want power, we want justice. We don't want power, we want our people to be liberated from the throngs of poverty. And if power looks like those who will fight for the people, then so be it. Allow me to quote the American poet James Hughes when he says, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?" I said tonight, let this dream explode. Do not let them make you give up your dreams and aspirations. Do not make them feel that you are powerless. This struggle might be fought through different phases, using different strategies. This struggle might be born out of both failures and successes. But let it be clear that this struggle is eternal. As we leave here today, brothers and sisters, let us commit to entering a new phase of our struggle for a better Grenada. Let us commit to knocking on every door to spread our message of unity. We are going to be cheerful warriors, engaging and embracing all, understanding always that Grenada is ours to secure and to build. We shall continue to fight for a just society for all our people. Let us go forward on our feet, not on our knees. I thank you.
They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes.
Foreign Minister Peter David is the Honorable Peter David in our company.
MP for the town, Peter David.
Peter David took the stage as the party's leader.
Honorable Peter David. Peter David has never been defeated, and the people of Grenada have never forgotten why.
His care for people is genuine, it's not an act.
He did not walk away from the NDC. They expelled him for speaking the truth. He did walk away from the NNP. He refused to stay as its democratic values eroded. One decision forced on him, one decision made by him, both defined by principle. Division has cost Grenada enough. A time like this calls for a man like Peter, a leader for the times, a true servant leader, one who is not here to lead a party, but to unite a nation.
If anybody is going to pull off a third party in the country right now, it has to be Peter David.
4 elections, 2 parties, 1 man.
Peter David. Foreign Minister Peter David is the Honorable Peter David in our company.
MP for the town, Peter David.
Peter David took the stage as the party's leader.
Honorable Peter David. Peter David has never been defeated.
Keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and I stood my ground. They will never ever take my crown. Oh, damn bless, I say no man curse. Things getting better when they
Ladies and
thought
gentlemen.
it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a draw first. But I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the dancing will come. Join me as we give another round of applause to all our candidates here today. Candidates, please stand.
Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. When they come with their evil thoughts, I just listen whenever they talk. I is the light into my dark. He cut and clear all my faults.
Delegates, candidates, executive, please rise. Everyone, please rise. This morning, you were individuals. This afternoon, you are the movement. Look to your left, look to your right. This is part of the team who will change Grenada. Join hands, my friends. Together, we move. Before we close, we take a Congress photo. Executives, please come to the front of the stage. Candidates, join them. Delegates, move forward. The stage is for our group photos. This is the photo that goes in the history books. Can we get some music, please?
They can't keep a good man down. Always keep us smart, keep us smart, keep us smart, keep us smart.
Thank you, Hamlet. I now invite Kamala Stephen to do our party song. You may take your seats.
The sun rises every day without fail. A brand new morning, another chance to sail. People united will always be strong. So come stand with me. Let's sing the same song. The future is calling, new doors to open wide. Step after step, we walk side by side. Grenada, our home, our treasures divine. When we hit the road, unity is the code. We stand together, we carry the load. Raise your voice all over Grenada, say it loud. We move together, oh, we rise as one crowd. Each star that shines reminds us where we stand, lifting each other up hand in hand. Every step forward the chain with love in our hearts. We'll weather the rain through every challenge. We grow in power. So God, we challenge, we grow in power, standing tall in unity's tower. No mountains too high, no dreams too far. Hope lights the way to who we are. When we hit the road, unity is the call. We move together, we walk the same road. Raise your voice all over Grenada, say it loud. We move together. The future is near. In the darkest days, where the beacon of light, guided by faith, through every night, for God, for country, for family we stand. Stories of those who gone before, open up hands to a brighter shore. So gather around, let our voices unite. Grenada united, rising in light. We move together, the best days ahead. Trust in love by the message we spread. Sing it proud so the whole world can see. Together we're strong, you and me.
Thank you, Ms. Stephen. Delegates, this concludes the first National Congress of the Democratic People's Movement. You came here today from 15 constituencies and 3 communities. You ratified a constitution. You elected a national executive. You met your political leader. The work begins tomorrow. Go back to your communities, talk to your neighbors, build yourselves. Very soon, Grenada decides, and we intend to give them a real choice. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing. What's that? Okay. Travel safely. Congress is adjourned. Thank you very much. A round of applause for everyone coming out here today. And of course, please feel free and socialize. We've got a bar outside. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again.
Remember, the bar is over at the gazebo. Please patronize our bar.